In case you haven't heard, everything is content.
Whether you're just photographing your food or documenting your whole life like me. Welcome into Coffee with Dubs. Today, we're talking about content creation, so let's go.
Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with Dubs. People ask me all the time where I come up with these ideas. They assume I have like a notebook hidden somewhere and that I wake up every morning with some profound thing to say. Truth is, most mornings, I don't. I pour a cup of coffee, step outside, and I kind of let life tell me where I'm going and where I'm going to talk about today.
A rainy day with the dogs wasn't really about the rain. It became a conversation about resisting things you can't control. A difficult decision with my son wasn't about parenting. It became a lesson about letting go. Even the hateful messages occasionally landing in my inbox stopped being about criticism and became a reminder that resistance often follows anything worth saying. I've started believing something that's completely changed the way I create. And honestly, it's changed the way I live my life. My favorite phrase is, everything is content. Doesn't mean that every meal needs a picture or every conversation belongs on the internet. I mean, every experience contains a lesson if we're paying attention long enough to recognize it. The interesting part is that none of those moments announced themselves as ideas. They were just ordinary pieces of life that happened to stay with me longer than everything else. Instead of asking myself, what should I make a video about? Start asking why I couldn't stop thinking about something. That single question changed everything because it forced me to take a look beneath the event instead of simply describing it. I think that's where a lot of creators get stuck, and honestly, I think a lot of people get stuck there too. They're waiting for inspiration to arrive like send a knock on the front door one morning. Meanwhile, life's been quietly handing them meaningful moments all day long. The problem isn't that we run out of ideas, it's that we rush through our days too quickly to notice them. I've learned to trust my reactions more than I trust my inspiration. If something makes me laugh, I ask why it's funny. If something frustrates me, I get curious instead of defensive. And if a conversation follows me home and keeps replaying in my head, I know there's probably something underneath it that's worth understanding. Those emotional reactions aren't interruptions, they're invitations.
That's one of the reasons why I spend so much time walking. People probably assume it's for exercise, and sometimes it is, but most of the time, I'm simply creating enough quiet for my thoughts to catch up with my life. My best ideas almost never appear when I'm sitting at my desk trying to force them into existence. They show up somewhere in between the trail, the coffee, and the sound of my dogs wandering through the creek. By the time I turn the camera on, the episode's already been going through my head for hours, sometimes days. The camera isn't where Coffee with Dubs begins. It begins when I'm paying attention to the way someone treats a complete stranger, when I'm wrestling with a difficult conversation, or even noticing a small moment that affected me more than I expected it would. Recording the video is just the final step in the process that started long before I pressed the record button. That realization completely changed the way I think about creativity. I used to think that creators made things out of thin air. Now, I think creators notice things we've all experienced but never stop to examine. We all live through thousands of little moments every week, but very few of them become meaningful until someone slows down long enough to examine them and ask what they were trying to teach. Also, I think we've been sold the wrong idea about inspiration. We tell ourselves we'll start when we're more creative, more confident, more prepared. The people who consistently create aren't waiting for those feelings to arrive. They've simply built a habit of paying attention first and trusting clarity that usually follows action instead of preceding it.
That's been true of almost everything I've accomplished in my own life. I don't become comfortable talking on camera because confidence suddenly appeared one morning. I became comfortable because I kept showing up while I sat and felt awkward. Every imperfect video, every sentence I stumbled through, every day that I questioned whether this was worth doing, slowly became part of the person sitting here talking right now. The more I think about it, the less I believe this philosophy is only about creating content. If you're trying to become a better parent, everything is content. If you're trying to become a better spouse, everything is content. If you're trying to become a better artist, leader, and simply a better human being, every conversation, every mistake, every success, every disappointment is trying to teach you something if you're willing to pay attention. So, if life feels ordinary right now, don't overlook it. Ordinary days are where extraordinary observations are born because they aren't competing with excitement or distraction. The lesson you're searching for may already be sitting inside that conversation you had this morning, or a moment you almost ignored because it didn't seem important enough. Life is consistently speaking to us. It just depends on whether or not we're listening. Thanks for joining me on another Pour of Coffee with Dubs. Until next time, remember that everything is content. Not because everything belongs online, but because everything has something to teach the person willing to slow down, pay attention, and let life become the greatest story they've ever had to tell. Till next time, I'm gonna turn the page, because I'm out of here.